June 1943, 27,000 feet over France. A young American pilot sits trapped in a burning fighter, its cockpit slick with blood and oil. A German ace circles for the kill, emptying his guns again and again. But the American's plane, a battered Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, will not die. This is the moment when mockery turned to terror, when a flying milk bottle became unbreakable. The morning of June 26, 1943 dawned bright over northern France. 48 P-47s of the 61st Fighter Squadron droned home from escort duty, their silver fuselages glinting against the clouds. Second Lieutenant Robert S. Johnson, 23 years old, flew in the rear element, the most dangerous position in any formation. He was still new to combat, still learning to trust the massive machine wrapped around him. Then out of the sun came the hunters, 16 FW-190s of Jageschwader 26, led by Wilhelm Ferdinand Galland, brother of the famed Adolf Galland. In seconds, the sky erupted. German cannon shells flashed like orange comets, streaking through the formation. Johnson's Thunderbolt shuddered under the impact. Oil splattered across the canopy. Fire burst from the cowl. Shrapnel tore through his leg and face. He reached for the canopy release, jammed. The aircraft was dying, and he was trapped inside. Johnson fought the controls, half blind, choking on smoke. The altimeter spun downward, 25,000 feet, 2018. Any other fighter would already be a falling torch. But the Thunderbolt held together. The massive radial engine coughed, sputtered, then caught again. Johnson leveled out and pointed west toward England. The cockpit was a furnace. The smell of burning insulation filled his lungs. Then, a shadow appeared behind him, a lone Focke-Wulf 190. Its black crosses bright against the morning sun had found its prey. The German opened fire, 4 cannon, 2 machine guns, a torrent of metal slamming into the crippled P-47. Johnson huddled behind the armor plate, praying. The windshield turned opaque with oil. Bullets chewed through the wings, the fuselage, the tail. When the German's cannon ran dry, he slid alongside to see his victim. What he saw defied belief. The Thunderbolt was still flying. He saluted and peeled away. Johnson limped back across the channel and belly landed at Manson Airfield. Mechanics counted more than 200 bullet holes and stopped counting. 3 structural beams shot through. Control cables half severed. 1 cannon shell lodged inches from the seat armor. Yet the Jug, as pilots now affectionately called it, had brought its pilot home. Word of Johnson's survival spread faster than the daily paper. Pilots crowded around the wreck, running their hands along the torn metal. Engineers stared in disbelief. The Germans heard the story too, through their own pilots, through intercepted radio chatter. No plane can take that much damage, their intelligence officers insisted. But it had. From that day on, Luftwaffe pilots would whisper before takeoff, "Don't let the big ones hit their guns on you." Johnson himself, still bandaged, put it more simply, if you stay fast, stay high, and hit hard, you'll come home. This plane can take anything they throw. The Thunderbolt had proven its worth not through elegance, but through endurance. By midsummer 1943, Colonel Hub Zemke and his 56 fighter group were rewriting the rule book. Dogfighting, the tight-turning duels of the past, was suicide in AP-47. Instead, Zemke taught his pilots to fight like predators from the high thin air, climb above the enemy, dive at incredible speed, fire a short, devastating burst, then climb away before they can react. The Germans called it the Thunderbolt hit and run. Americans called it boom and zoom. At 30,000 feet, the P-47's turbo-supercharged engine sang, while German engines wheezed. In a dive, the Jug was untouchable, 550 miles per hour of unstoppable mass. Captain Walker, Bud Mahurin, summed it up, "We didn't dogfight. We hunted. One pass, one killed and gone. The Luftwaffe, bled white on the eastern front, now face an enemy it could neither outclimb nor outdive. August 17, 1943, the Schweinfurt Regensburg raids. Hundreds of American B-17s thunder east into Germany, carrying the war deeper than ever before. Above them, the P-47 sweep the skies. Major David Schilling spots a cluster of twin-engine Messerschmitt 110s turning toward the bombers. He rolls inverted, dives from 28,000 feet, and pulls the trigger. 8 Brownings roar. In 2 seconds, one German aircraft disintegrates, wings, fuselage, everything gone. A surviving gunner later told interrogators, "They came down like gods. We hit them and they kept coming. Then they fired, and the sky filled with pieces of airplanes." For the first time, the Luftwaffe meets the full fury of American industrial firepower. Each Thunderbolt carries 3,400 rounds, more ammunition than an entire German squadron could spare permission. Each burst, a storm of lead and flame. The laughing days are over. Through the fall of 1943, American pilots grow more confident and more deadly. The Jug rules the stratosphere. Above 25,000 feet, its performance eclipses every German design. On October 8th, Ace Hans Philipp, credited with over 200 victories, leads his unit into battle near Bremen. From high above, Robert Johnson dives, fires a 2-second burst, and Philipp's FW-190 explodes in a ball of flame. One of Germany's greatest heroes is gone, slain by the aircraft he once mocked. Back in Berlin, Hermann Göring receives a grim intelligence report. The Republic P-47 Thunderbolt possesses extreme structural strength, superior altitude performance, and firepower that renders conventional engagement unviable. Even on paper, the tone has changed. What was once inferior is now a critical threat. Winter brings a new evolution. The P-47D-22 with its huge paddle blade propeller. 13 feet of spinning steel transforming horsepower into climb rate, where earlier Thunderbolts clawed upward at a sluggish 2,200 feet per minute. The new version storms skyward at over 3,000. German ace Heinz Nock notes in his diary after a fight near Hanover. "They came up after us. Up, we could not escape. One of ours was blown apart. These are not the same machines we laughed at. Even the sound changes. The broad blades tear the air with a deep, rolling thunder audible miles away. German ground troops call it Donnerschlag, thunderclap. The Jug's growl becomes a warning, a sound that means death is coming. By early 1944, the sky above Europe belongs increasingly to America. The new Thunderbolts, fitted with drop tanks, can now escort bombers deep into Germany. P-47s are seen over Hanover, over Frankfurt, even as far as Berlin. German pilots begin to fear the escort more than the bombers. Major Gunther Rall, one of the Luftwaffe's top scorers, later recalled, "They came down like an avalanche. The first pass destroyed 3 of our fighters. Their guns didn't chatter. They roared. Being caught in that roar was instant death. Every engagement drains the Luftwaffe further. Fuel is scarce. Experienced pilots are dying faster than replacements arrive. For the Americans, it's the opposite. Replacement aircraft roll off production lines faster than they can be delivered. Pilots train on full fuel loads, live-fire gunnery, instrument navigation. Luxuries their German counterparts can only dream of. Quantity is becoming quality." While the P-47's legend grows in the skies, Allied planners see another role for the Jug, one closer to the ground. Its 8 guns, once meant to shred fighters, prove equally lethal against tanks, trucks, and trains. Armor-piercing incendiary rounds punch through the thin roofs of German vehicles. A 2-second burst can erase a convoy. But that story, the Jug's transformation from air superiority fighter to flying artillery, will unfold in the months ahead, as Europe prepares for invasion. For now, the P-47 has achieved something no one thought possible in 1943. It has turned the tide of the air war. The Luftwaffe's laughter has vanished into smoke. Robert Johnson's battered Thunderbolt is long gone, melted down after the war. But his story marks the turning point, the day the world learned what the P-47 could endure. From that moment on, German pilots spoke of the Jug with respect and fear. As one captured officer admitted in 1944, "We used to joke that they were flying pigs. Now we pray we don't meet them." The Thunderbolt had arrived, and soon its thunder would roll across Normandy, where sky and earth would burn together. The Thunderbolt descends to earth. From the hedgerows of France to the roads of Germany, the Jug becomes the deadliest ground attack aircraft of the war. The sky will no longer be the only battlefield. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and stay with us for part 3. Thunderclap: How the Jug Became the Luftwaffe's Nightmare.